Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
We've had a double bonus. We've been talking about having David Hobson on, and we're quite excited. And I rang David this morning, and a young lady by the name of Marina answered the telephone, and both of those people will be coming to Geelong next Saturday night to perform at Costa Hall on their Two of Us tour, and excited to have them both. But we'll start with David Hobson. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Good on you there. You got Neil and Rock, correct?
Yes.
That's it. Thank you. Yes.
Great to have you.
In Southwest Rock, so...
Beautiful. So how is the tour? Well, hang on. It's obviously going well because you're both very good at it. But how did the idea of the tour come about?
Well, Marina and I have known each other. Well, we did our very first show together, and which is the Pirates of Penzance back in the early 80s. And that was our first show together, and although we've had divergent careers, Marina mainly in music theatre and me mainly in opera, we've remained good friends, and we've done bits and bobs along the way since then. And then, I can't remember the date, but we did concerts together here and there. And then we did this huge concert with the Western Australian Symphony in the Lewin Estate in Margaret River, which is a big event with James Morrison, Marina and myself. And that went so well, we thought, gee, it'd be good if we just kept doing this. So we've probably done between 160, 200 shows since then. And that's how it is. It really grew out of friendship and, a similar love of music. We're not musical snobs. We will sing anything that we like. So the show encompasses, all of the hits from musical theatre, from opera, and we did Celtic music and a bit of pop music. And I think am I talking too much?
No.
No, it's your interview, David. We'll just sit here and listen. We're very pleased to listen to you, whether you're singing or talking.
We're very, very proud, of course, of having, I'm sure, another good friend of yours, Dennis Walter, come from this town. And I was quite shocked when I saw Dennis performing a lot of pop songs at a live show. And the voice is very transferable. And so it's easy for me to understand that yours would be exactly the same and go across quite a lot of genres.
Yes, well, I mean, both Marina and I, before we started our respective careers, Marina sang a lot of folk music and I did a lot of rock and pop. In a way, I kind of fell into rock and pop and a bit of jazz as well, Marina.
Oh, so she's learning as well as we go along. See, it's an insightful interview.
Love of a lot of different types of music, both growing up in musical families. So,
it's interesting you say that, David, because I was going to ask you, I'm intrigued with people with voices like yours. At some stage, you start singing in the shower as a kid, and then the voice comes out and you think, oh, this is an interesting voice. What am I going to do with it? Was it the fact that as your voice evolved, you started to think, well, it's probably more fitting to go to opera and musical theatre, or did you always have a love for that anyway?
How would I describe it? Look, singing is just something I always did, so I never really thought about it, to tell you the truth. I always sang. I sang as a choir boy, did a bit of musical theatre. My dad was definitely into musical theatre, and I followed suit in Ballarat, did lots of shows. But then when the hormones kicked in when I was about 13, I started to love Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and what have you. So I'd never really thought... I always lived in the moment, so I just always sang whatever I was singing, whatever I needed to. And I started to write music, so I composed music. So that necessitated me to sing stuff that I was writing as a means of getting it down on tape. So I had no ambitions to be an opera singer or a musical theatre singer. In fact, I fell into opera because I'd written a rock opera based on Macbeth. And my voice was heard on the demo tape. And then subsequently after that, we did what's known as a backers audition, where we get producers to come and hear the music. So I sang a couple of scenes from this rock opera Macbeth, and one of the producers was the Victoria State Opera, and we said, we'd like your writing, but we'd like you to come and sing. So that's how I kind of started. So I kind of fell into it, if you will.
Because, obviously another successful story from regional Victoria. We always like to pump up regional Victoria.
Yeah.
Growing up in Ballarat, if I had have said to you, by the time we get to 2020, you'll be an established opera singer, I would have thought one of the things that opera singers need to do, and this is clearly, I'm no singer, forget about opera singer, the need to be able to be fluent in Italian and German and other such European languages. How does that turn out?
Well, yeah, that's funny you should say that. So once I got into, we did the Pirates, and then I went on and did the role because I was understanding the main role, and then the opera company said, we want you to come and do more, and I thought I was just doing it as a means to, supplementing my composing so I could keep writing music. Once that happened, I had to start learning languages. And then Joan Sutherland and Richard Bonning, because I never did any proper singing lessons or didn't go to conservatorium. And, you like that? And so they gave me a scholarship to go overseas, and I studied languages there. So that's how I did languages. And it was almost like the languages were more important than studying the singing at that point, because I was so far behind the 8 ball.
Well, if we listen...
Right. So I went to Italy and studied Italian. I went to France to study French. That's how we did it. That's how I did it.
If you listen to some of the intense lyrics written by Bjorn and Benny in ABBA, you sometimes have a little chuckle to yourself about the fact that doesn't make an enormous amount of sense because they're doing it in their second language. When you are singing in Italian or German, or are you processing that in Italian, or are you effectively mimicking the sounds of the words because you know that's what it's meant to be?
No, definitely. It's very important. Well, if you don't kind of inhabit the language, well, then you're kind of faking it a little bit, which is okay. But no, it's very important that you understand what you're singing about and have a kind of clear understanding of the text and obviously of the language. Well, that's my feeling, and I think that the best singers obviously do that.
Well, I would have thought that was the case, but that doesn't mean you just need to be able to order a coffee and a donut in German. You need to be able to speak the language pretty fluently.
Pretty much so. But if, once, particularly now, my stage of the career, am I fluent in Italian anymore? I'm not bad. French, but, the repertoire I know, and I know what I'm singing about. That's very important, I think.
David, most people, of course, would know you because not everyone goes to the opera, but the majority of Victorians watch carols by candlelight, and it's always the big songs, the big finish. Dennis Walter, of course, makes us all proud here, but I always look forward to you singing. You always pick a couple of the big ones, but singing in your life operas is serious stuff. But when you're there, while you're delivering seriously, you all look like you're just having fun spending this night together.
Look, it's a privilege and it's an honour to be able to do it. And both Marina and I have been doing it for a long time now. And it's a joyous occasion, and it is almost like a familial occasion as well, us who've been doing it for such a long time, and we understand the kind of, for want of a better expression, tribal ritual of all getting together and expressing joy about that time of the year, because it is... whether you believe or not, it's a special time of the year to kind of acknowledge family and giving and to be able to sing about it. Yeah, look, it's great. It really is. It's a special time, and we don't take the honour lightly. Put it that way.
Do you have a natural rotation of the big songs, as I alluded to before, with the group? Well,
the thing is, I get asked to do a particular song. Marina also gets asked to get a particular song, and it's almost like being, that's what happens in community churches in a way. You have songs that are sung at that time of the year, and generally, similar people sing them because people like it that way. So we kind of do what the producers want us to do. That's ultimately what happens.
Because I reckon you did Jerusalem last year, and it might be Dennis's turn, and you get one of the other big ones. But they're certainly well worth waiting for, and we love your contribution to that. And there's a lot more to you than just carols by candlelight, and that's the thing that people of Geelong will get a chance to see next Saturday night.
And we love going. We haven't been in Geelong for so long, and mainly because of the COVID, of course. And this is a reassigned concert. But the thing about this show is that Neil or Rob I'm talking to?
Robert here, yeah.
That's Rob, yeah, Robert. So, Robert, the thing about our show is that most people are used to seeing us in a very kind of formalised setting, you know, whether it be Marina doing a big musicals in character with lots of, you know, costume and makeup and other characters, or me, you know, the same thing with opera, or, you know, we're on telly with big ball gowns. Well, no, that's her wearing the ball gown.
There's nothing wrong with that, David. We're not going to judge you if you do.
Nothing wrong with that. No judgment here. But here in our show, not only do we get to do what we want to do musically, but the audience get a chance to see us up close and personal. So there's a kind of informality and a lot of fun where you get to know us, you get to hear backstories. There's a lot of humour about it. I mean, Marina and I laugh a lot, and the audience laugh a lot as well. So not only do we get the lovely big musical moments, but you know, you get to know us up close and very personal, and the audiences have been responding fantastically to that.
Because I think the other thing is too, with most people, as we've acknowledged, would know you from Carols by Candlelight. You're out there for 7 minutes. You do isn't it a beautiful view from here with the candles? Let's hold them all up. That bit you do that bit.
And by the way, Rob, I never know what I'm going to say. And one year I kind of mentioned my dad, and I just went into this kind of reverie and completely forgot the words to a song I've been singing for nearly 40 years, which is a bit embarrassing on national television because I had to get John Foreman to stop the orchestra and start again.
No, but then you passed it off as just trying to break it up a little bit. But yeah. I get the sense that from this conversation, you're going to be spending, 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, on stage, and we're going to get to know David and we're going to get to know Marina rather than just what you roll out for the 7 or 8 minutes you're on stage.
Exactly. You absolutely hit the nail right on the head, and it's something that, you know, Marina and I, it's one of our most, well, I think I'm speaking for Marina as well, it's probably one of the most fantastic things that we've done, most enjoyable pursuits that we've had in our careers. So, yeah, I think the audience, as I say, they've really, really responded to it, and we've been overwhelmed by the response, actually. As they say, but you get to see behind the curtain. We lift up the curtain. Marina lifts up her dress. No.
Well, you're the one wearing the ball gown, you were saying, David.
Right.
Now, David, this was going to be all about you, but I was completely and utterly flabbergasted when Marina answered the phone, and you sound like a really nice bloke, and you're happy to share. So if we could have a moment or two with Marina, it'll be too good an opportunity to miss for the people of Geelong.
With Marina is such a joy because she is just one of the loveliest and most generous performers ever. So for us, it's just a ridiculous. There's an ease on stage and a great kind of connection that lifts. I don't know. It's just joyous and lovely, and I think the audience feel that. So here she is. If you want to say a quick hello,
David, thank you very much for your time.
Good on you, Robert. Thank you, Neil.
Thanks.
Have a chat, Marina.
Thanks, David. And while Marina's coming to the phone, because you don't come to the phone comes to the person now, doesn't it? We will be giving out the dates and where you can get tickets after we've finished speaking to Marina. Hello, Marina.
Hello, how are you?
Good. This is Neil, the other one, the husky, sexy voice. That's Rob.
The one.
Marina, thank you very much for...
Not David.
I wasn't expecting you to be operating as David's PA for this contribution this morning, but a delight to find you answering the phone on his behalf.
No, we're just all we're checking out of a motel in northern New South Wales, and the cleaners started going into everyone's room, so everyone's migrated to my room.
Marina, it might be a little bit easy for the residents of Geelong coming to understand Marina Pryor's story. You're probably, without being disrespectful to David, he's done a lot of his work on stage, opera, and not a lot of the community go to opera. But your face and your voice has probably been more versatile and seen in a lot more places by the common folk across the board, television and big musicals that we see, but of course Carols by Candlelight. The two of you coming together, was it just as David suggested, it's an accidental love of music that brought you together all those years ago?
Well, you mean when we started doing this concert?
Yeah, well, your friendship more that built out of the music.
You know, it was just we worked together in our first show. So, you know, we were very young people starting out in a show and became friends, and then our paths just constantly crossed. We would be on this, not necessarily always singing together, although sometimes we did do duets and things together, but in various different concerts and lineups, we're represented by the same management too. But just over the years, same friends, keeping we'd keep sort of being put together, or we'd be together on a program. But it really wasn't until Lewin Estate, which is a sort of, I don't even know if they still do it, but it was a huge event for Australia kind of every year. They'd usually get international artists out, like they'd get Sting and Bruce Springsteen and Kiri Te Kanawa and all these amazing people, and then they decided to get Australian artists one year. And we got put together. We would often just get put together in programs, and we created a whole, a repertoire together. And we went, gosh, this really works. And we had so much fun, and we have a great simpatico. We have a very similar outlook and philosophy about music and life and all sorts of things. And, we just decided to take this on the road. We had a promoter contact us, sort of talking about doing some concerts, and it's been going. I think we've been doing them for about 4 years with COVID in the middle. We're up to about 160 shows that we've done, in this, loosely based on this format that we're doing now.
Now, Marina, I reckon that you and I have got something in common, and that was in the very early 80s we attended the same institution. That is to say, you were at Melbourne College of Advanced Education studying music.
Yeah.
Well, I studied science teaching. So my guess is that you were setting out to be a music teacher. Was that kind of the direction to start with?
I didn't know. I just thought I wanted to do music and drama together.
Yep.
There was no institution that actually did it together except for Melbourne State College, as it was called, or it was the teaching faculty of Melbourne Uni, as you know. And that was the only place that actually offered both subjects together. I could have gone to the conservatorium and just done music, but I wanted to do music and I was really interested in drama as well. So it was the only place that offered it, and it also was a Bachelor of Education. I thought, well, that's handy, but I always only ever wanted to perform, but I thought, well, at least I'll have teaching to fall back on.
To have a sensible job, as my mum and dad would have called them. I think we may have even lived in the same suburb, but we won't reveal that on the wireless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, out east, I think we would, fair to say?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So there you go. My ex-wife was in your class. That's how I know.
Oh, my God.
There's a story.
Yeah, we'll pick that one up off air, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Marina, like David, you have sung across so many different genres, and you've done them all particularly well. But without making this sound a little bit morbid, if you had to sing one song for your life, which is the one that you really enjoy belting out?
Oh, gosh. That is actually like asking me who my favourite child is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll ask you that next.
Oh, don't. Look, I can only... these are the sort of questions that I agonise over, but then I just think, look, I'm going to just answer what I'm feeling right now, today. I have to say that when Hobbo and I do a Celtic music section, and when we sing the Celtic songs, we're both sort of we were brought up in musical families and Irish Scottish type families as well, and we had both had a love of Celtic folk music. I'd have to say that probably singing Danny Boy is my favourite thing to do.
Yeah, it's a song that's very passionate, and to do the stuff you do, we were talking about David singing in a foreign language, you obviously got to know the language to sing it with passion, and those songs are very passionate. But you sing with a smile. You obviously have a lot of fun singing, as well as doing it for a living and needing to project correctly. But is doing this stuff just really still good fun that you happen to have the privilege of making $1 out of as well?
It's a joy. It is honestly a joy. Yeah, we do. We were, after the show last night, we were sort of all sitting around and having a glass of wine and eating, and I think Hobbo and I probably say it to each other every couple of days, we just look at each other and go, gosh, this is amazing what we get to do. And we love it. It is, we're truly, truly great friends, and it is so, and we're also great colleagues in that I think we both have a deep admiration and respect for what the other does. And so it is, as you say, it's a great privilege to be able to do this and to be still doing this after 40 years and find as much joy, if not more joy, than when I started out.
Well, Marina, we probably should let you go and get on the road to Grafton, home of course, Flame Trees. So I'll be disappointed if I hear reports that you don't sing Flame Trees tonight. Who needs the sentimental? Anyway, so that's tonight. You're then at the Ballina RSL tomorrow. And then you head to Victoria Thursday the 24th in Hamilton in Western Victoria, Friday the 25th in Warrnambool at the Lighthouse Theatre, and then you're back in G-Town on Saturday the 26th at Costa Hall. What a great little venue that is.
Costa Hall, we've done Costa Hall before, we love it, We love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Thursday 8, 9 and 10 of December you are in Toowoomba, Ipswich and Caloundra, respectively, because we've got listeners everywhere. Our mums and dads live in those places. No, we've got listeners everywhere. People want to have tickets now. People are going to have difficulty remembering this website. So let me go through it really quickly for you. www.marinapryoranddavidhobson.com. Did it take you long to come up with that?
It's actually our promoter's website, not ours. And it's very easy. Literally, they just type in our names on the website. The website will come up. It's very easy.
Yes.
And yes. Look, get in and do get in quick. We've been so far. We're selling out. We're very happy to report.
Yep.
So yes, there's tickets are limited, but look, and then I have to say, it's just also then we both go off and do things in the first half of next year, and then next year, the back end of next year, we've got another 60 shows that we're doing all over the place.
Magnificent.
Well, you make sure you let us know when that's happening. We'll get you back on. We'll have a chat and we'll get our audience involved.
Marina, one quick last question. Through Neil's connections, we've interviewed a lot of the very best Australian musical performers, and one commonality is that you are ridiculously humble. What keeps people like you and David so grounded with the incredible profiles that you have?
Oh, gosh. I don't...
If we don't think about it. Families.
Yeah, we're both we're both married. We're parents. I mean, that's enough to keep you humble.
I think the thing is we believe we're still learning.
Yeah, we do. We often say, like, honestly, our conversations on the road tend to be about revelations that we're sort of, hey, and I watch him sing and go, oh, gee, I noticed that when you do that gives a really great sound or whatever, or I watch the way I watch the way everybody performs, and I'm constantly learning. I've just finished doing the musical 9 to 5 for the year around Australia, and I worked with a lot of, really young up-and-coming kids, and I learn from the kids because, they're trained differently and they're so passionate about what they do, and I mean, I just think you've got to, I think you're a fool if you don't stay humble and keep and grounded, because you won't last, I think, in this industry if you're thinking it's all about kind of celebrity and status, because it's actually not. It's hard work.
And really, we're just a conduit for great music and great works. And I think, both Marina and I have a great respect for the art form and the industry. I don't like the term industry sometimes, and also respect for the audience. But even more importantly, a respect for your colleagues. Because if you don't actually respect your colleagues on stage, well then...
You're a fool.
You're a fool. It's like, look, the only reason Melbourne won in 2021 was because they actually forgot about themselves and played for the team.
Yep.
And that's the reason, Geelong won as well. The fact that, you sacrifice your own game for the betterment of the team, and I think
I knew he'd bring football into it.
And bringing Geelong into it was put a big smile on Rob's face, if nothing else.
Ticket sales have gone through the roof as well.
Well, I hadn't been to Cardinia Park for a few years, and I went to see the Melbourne Geelong game, and it was great actually going to the local K Park, and even though a foreigner in a foreign land, an alien in a foreign land. It was great fun and a good atmosphere. And boy, they belted us that night as well.
You ought to be a Brisbane Lions supporter in the 4 seats that they allocate us at the Geelong game.
Look, what do you expect? I got there, I thought, what do I expect? Yeah, of course that's going to happen. In fact, I can remember back to the days of being behind the goals watching Doug Wade. Got a vivid memory, as a young boy, seeing the number 23 because I broke from Melbourne going down to Canadian Park. I don't know why I'm talking about that, but I just had a flash of Doug Wade flying above a pack, and I was behind the goals. There you go.
Great memories, and that, as I said, that'll help get more people to Costa Hall next Saturday night to watch you and Marina knock our socks off as you normally do.
Fantastic. Thanks for having us on, Neil. Thank you.
Thanks.
All the very best.
Marina Pryor and David Hobson.com. I think as we say goodbye, I think a song called Time to Say Goodbye might be a good one.
What a good idea.
There you go.
Best wishes, folks.
Thanks, guys.